Cassie. Hi, everyone. I'm Seth Cohen, Medical Director for Infection Prevention at UW Medical Center. Thank you for having me. So I'll just talk a little bit about the unsettling news about the latest variant of B11529, which has been named Omicron, a variant of concern by the WHO. And I just say first, most importantly, I'd like to acknowledge that there is still a lot that we do not know about this variant of concern, and we will be learning much more about it in the coming days and weeks. Think about new variants. There are four main questions that we typically ask. And so the first one is, how transmissible is this compared to Delta? And the answer is we don't know. There are very preliminary signs that this could be a concern, but right now the number of cases is extremely low, and I would say very, very difficult to interpret with any certainty. So on the question of transmission, we don't know. The second question is whether disease severity is any different with this variant compared to Delta. And again, we don't have any information to suggest that symptoms due to Omicron are any different from any of the other variants. And please remember that all variants are capable of causing severe disease. And that is really why, just as Cassie was stressing, prevention of infection, primarily through vaccination, is so, so important, regardless of what variant you're dealing with. The third question that I ask is, how effective are current vaccines or natural immunity from other variants against Omicron? So if you're vaccinated, how likely is it that you could get infected? Or if you have recovered from infection from a prior variant, how likely is it that you could become reinfected? We don't know yet whether there has been a change in efficacy of the vaccines. This new variant has approximately 30 mutations, about half of which are in the receptor binding domain. And so based on this profile, there are some scientists who are concerned about partial immune escape. And I would just say we do not have any in vitro or epidemiologic studies to support this yet. And I'll point out that we have not yet seen a variant that can completely escape immunity due to vaccines. And so vaccines still remain a really vital backbone in our fight against COVID-19. And lastly, on that point, we've seen prior variants that were associated with decreased vaccine efficacy, but they were completely unable to take off globally because they were just elbowed out of the way by Delta. So vaccine escape, while concerning and absolutely needs more study, is not really the only issue with, or the only factor that plays into a variant taking off around the world. And then the last important question that I think is really key to address is, how are diagnostics impacted? And Dr. Greninger can talk a little bit more about this. We know that the PCR tests, which are widely used to diagnose infection, should continue to work with this new variant. We do not think that rapid tests will be impacted, and there are currently studies underway to evaluate this. So I'll just close with what I do know, and then happy to open it up to questions. What I do know is this is not a new virus. This is only another variation of one that we've seen, that we've been dealing with since the winter of 2019. I would encourage people to take appropriate precautions while we're in this information gathering stage. And we expect that current mitigation strategies, including distancing, masking, improved ventilation, and hand hygiene, should continue to be effective. I would not be at all surprised about Omicron cases being reported here in the US, in the next few days or in the very near future. And as we continue to hear about these variants every few months, we will continue to hear about them until we are better able to achieve vaccine equity globally.